Beast Mode. Effective January 1st, 1978. All cars and industrial electromechanics operations will cease. Please contact your assigned account representative for account transfers or contract settlements.
Thank you for holding your call very important. The first available KIE representative will be with you shortly.
is January 1st, 1978. All clocks and industrial electromechanics operations will cease. Please contact your assigned account representative for account transfers or contract settlements.
Hello, Internet people. How are you doing today? You doing good? I hope so. I hope you can excuse my my already low energy self being lower than usual. I have been trying to hold back a very immense headache, and you know what? I've had moderate success. Admittedly. It's not gone, but it certainly is less than it was. So I felt, you know what? Fuck it. Let's continue. It's not a very overly strenuous thing to play golf games. So I thought it would be safe to continue, and you know what? Not think it would be safe. I know it is safe to continue. Not a lot of thinking goes along with it. But I can do some chatting, have conversations, and have existential dread conversations about, I don't know. I tried to get a train of thought there, and it just derailed immediately. What I'm getting at is, I'm okay. I'm just tired. Worst case, though, we just run it a bit short today, but I still want to get this in. To do two things. One, to actually use this PlayStation 1. We finished off the PlayStation 2 earlier. Let's see. So, yesterday we did an acceptance test on the PlayStation 1 and the Atari ST. The Atari ST looks much better. It doesn't have the weird off colors anymore, excuse me. It doesn't have the weird off colors it did previously. I am still a little concerned, because when we ran some of those demos, I went back and looked at the footage, and there was one particular one that had some little bombs on screen. So, those bombs are error codes. And so, what Atari decided to do was, the onboard ROM has a small error handler in it, and that's the visual feedback to say what type of fault happened. So when you get a certain pattern of bombs on screen, you're supposed to know to go into the manual, look for how many there are and where they are on screen, and that tells you what happened. The 2 bomb error means that there's a problem in the glue chip. Here's the thing. The glue chip is what sends that horizontal and vertical sync line. And why you're not supposed to... Okay, so I said before in previous streams, why you're not supposed to just connect horizontal and vertical together is that the horizontal and vertical sync generator circuits can get damaged. That was me being really generic, like a lot of systems do that, but on the Atari ST in particular, it damages the glue chip, because the glue chip is responsible for doing that. So, when I see glue chip errors, I'm getting a little concerned that, yes, while the circuit may work, it might still be causing back current. I don't quite understand how it would. Whatever. I could probably look at it further, but I might revisit using the quad exclusive OR gate solution again, because my means of testing wasn't very good. So I might just revisit it. It's I don't think when you use the quad exclusive OR gate solution, I don't think it matters where horizontal and vertical sync were added, but it might be possible that I had them reversed and it did. When I looked at the logic, like the gate logic, it didn't seem like it did. But maybe it is, and it just didn't jump out at me. Because the whole point of it is, you're basically... You're electrically isolating the glue chip's horizontal and vertical sync from the upstream... like, from whatever device is getting the sync signal upstream while combining it. That's basically what you're doing with this. And what you're also doing is a little bit of logic so that when both are high, neither are high, because I think it's your horizontal and vertical sync are regular high, and then you signal that the sync has happened for horizontal and vertical by dropping low for a moment. I think that's how it works, but I can't remember. And anyway, I'm going to revisit using that and then see from there what to do. So I've put the ST away for a little while, but it's looking more or less okay so far. The other thing I was told was the passive sync method I used with the single transistor doesn't give the cleanest sync signal. And so when we were having that problem when testing yesterday, where the screen would flicker and I'd lose sync for a little bit, that might go away when I use the quad XOR solution instead. So, enough rambling about that. So today, we are going to use the, we're going to play some games on the original PlayStation. And I managed to grab a collection of them for this challenge. And we'll get, I'm gonna stop waffling here because I'm not doing a good job. And we'll just get to it. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. What happened to my head? Oh, there we go. We're okay again. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A simple vector face. Look at that. Yeah. I'll just make an adjustment here. Enough of all that. Let's get started. On. Ah, right. I gotta flip back. Oh, right. If I want video, I gotta plug it in the back, don't I? Derp. There. There's our audio and video. Alright, so options. On power up, run loader. List background. Dark. That makes it a bit easier to read. Color scheme, blue, dark, blue. That's fine. Seasonal theme? Oh. Folder browsing, yes. Okay, so I do have a firmware update on disk right now, but I'm a little hesitant to do that right now because I haven't encountered any problems that, like, necessitate it right now. But, yeah. What I don't want is for this to update and then potentially conk out and then be stuck, like, with nothing. Because I'm a little hesitant to bust out the ST and play on there right now if I'm potentially damaging the glue chip with how I made the sync combiner. Okay, save and exit. Okay, press circle to go back. Triangle, options, refresh game list, select. Loader, list background dark, color scheme blue, no theme off, folder browsing. Okay. You know what? You know what? I feel dangerous right now. Let's update the firmware. Update the firmware, press start to confirm. Why not? Why not be a reckless... Why not be a reckless goof, a goober? Update successful. Please wait while the update finalizes. The console will reboot automatically. That did not seem like it rebooted very... Okay, that seemed like a reboot. Okay, so I did need a firmware update to be able to navigate folders. Okay, so that makes sense. So let's go into the golf challenge then. So these are all of the golf games I could find. There are a lot. 36. Now, I don't know how many of these are repeats. Because one of the conditions of the challenge was that a game that was released in multiple regions doesn't count. Oh, sorry, it does. Let's say a game is released in 4 regions. We're not going to play all 4. We're going to play the one. And then there's a little bit of a judgment call if they altered the game. So, like, for example, Mario Golf was based off of another series. And so a lot of the engine's the same, the courses aren't the same, but like even the gameplay and some of the music is the same. So in that case, we would play both. But if it's just like a translation and maybe like a little bit of like localization or censorship, then no, we wouldn't do it. So let's just start from the top down. My goal is to get through 4, mainly because when we do 4, it usually comes to 4 hours. And that's 4 hours with break and warm-up. Or what I mean is, with a warm-up and a break, it comes to around 4 hours. Alright, let's get going. Let's do fast load. Oh, right. Okay, so it can't, shit. I thought it was gonna do some region trickery, but I guess not. Because if you go from PAL to NT, if you play a PAL, something that's PAL on an NTSC capture device, you lose your color information. Shit. I'm gonna have to figure out a workaround for that. I didn't account for that. I mean, that's fine. We'll play it in black and white for this time, I guess. What's the worst that's gonna happen? So part of the reason I was able to, like, get this PlayStation 1 so cheap was it was busted to shit, and it's... I guess this is a model people don't like to have. But it has all the ports on the back. It's got the weird peripheral port, it's got the parallel port and the serial port that nobody used. And it's got... But what it has is RCA ports on the back, and I thought, oh, that would be easy to hook up.
Well, that was a
But,
very clinical, sensible approach, and it worked well.
But now I realize there's a folly to my plan. So I have to go from... I now have to go from NTSC to PAL somehow. Whatever. We'll... Fuck it, we'll play it in black and white. Why not? Why not just completely go... Okay, skins, foursome, 4-ball, AMA Tour, Pro Tour, practice. Let's do stroke play. Player 1, player setup, audio visual. Gimme's on, mulligans, arc, grid. I was kind of hoping that one of the regions they were supporting was NTSC and there would be an option to flip it, but I guess not. Oh, if we don't have color, we don't have color. AMA Human 1. He's a great guy. Royal Glen Golf Club. You know what I need? There we go. Hmm. There. Nope, 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 nope. I want to adjust for here. This is surprisingly hard in black and white.
Oh, that's a wicked hook.
He right fucked it
That's
up,
bad enough
didn't
to
he?
appear in other golfers' nightmares.
Who needs to make fun of me when I got this guy? Okay, sandwich. Doesn't tell me how far away I am, though.
It's in the bunker. We'll certainly see sand fly here.
Alright. Hit 41 yards, the pin is 94.
It's landed in the rough.
Well, better than the
Words of
bunker.
mine can sum up that shot.
I think the actual player because Brigid is sick today.
Oh, that's safely on the green.
You know, for being black and white, this is working pretty well.
And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole with a bogey.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. This was made by Gremlin? I had no idea. Right? There we go.
What a spectacular drive. That shot was a sign of a great golfer.
Very nice, very nice. That's not gonna go in.
Well, misjudged pace left it short.
Ooh.
Player one has finished this hole level par.
There we go. Par 3's not bad. Hole 3, par 5. It goes 525 yards. Actually, I don't see where the hole is. Over here? Bet you it's over here. Very nice.
That's nicely on the fairway.
Guess if this is right, this is a North American golf game, so there's no background music. There we go.
Perfect position for the next shot.
I gotta go 33 feet. Oh, God.
That was hit much too strongly. A gentler approach was needed there.
He hit too hard. The solution was to not hit as hard. I get paid an obscene amount of money for my commentary. There is someone racing out there. Oh, my God. What an absolute menace to society.
It stopped well short.
Well, it's better than the people who thought they could race Vespers up and down the street. That's very good there, Jacob.
What about that? Just didn't want to go in. And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole with a bogey.
That's still not terrible for how badly I screwed up. Alright, let's walk the hole. Oh, that's why they want me to hit where I did.
Oh, that's a wicked hook. Well, unfortunately, it'll be a great struggle from there. Oh dear me, that ball's in the bush. Well, in golf, anything can happen.
I don't know what that comment had anything... What did that comment have to do with what just happened?
Well, that must have been a miss hit. I can't believe that was meant to happen. Well, what can I say? When in doubt, say no. Lands nicely on the fairway.
I just narrowly missed the bunker. That was some lucky shooting right there.
No, that's safely on the green.
Oh!
In at last. Player 1 has finished this hole 2 over par.
That is one thing I just really appreciated on consoles that use disc instead of cartridge, was the audio quality was much higher when it needed to be. I remember what I was saying yesterday when we were testing it. Back in the day, if you could just use your PlayStation as a CD player, which was a really good choice. Because it played very well.
Well, that seemed to be a total miss.
Was that a miss? You pointed me there.
Rushed it a bit there, I fancy. Now that makes things a little difficult. Well, that's a pity. Looked as if it was going to be good, but looks can be deceiving. And that ball hit a tree whack. Well, that's a rather poor attempt. Just didn't hit it cleanly enough.
I like how he went from, oh, well, that shit happens to, this guy fucked it up because he sucks. In the most British way you can.
Now, how on earth did that happen?
Have you tried not being terrible?
Oh, that was so unlucky. Oh, it's hit a tree and landed in the rough. Oh, that was so unlucky.
I don't know how he got in,
Oh,
but
that's cruel.
we were going to ask him to leave, but it's getting rather funny, so we're going to just
Well,
leave it there.
It's an interesting shot.
We can't really say that he's dog shit, but... But we are just going to say it's unlucky.
What a superb shot. Oh, that was a beauty.
Boop.
And it's in at last. Player 1 has finished this hole 3 over par.
Yeah, that seems like a triple bogey to me. Now, I can't remember if I found out. Wow, I butchered that sentence. Let me try that again. If I looked it up, I forgot. But I really hope that there's like a proper PlayStation 1 diagnostic disc. Because with how much is in it, I'm really baffled that there wouldn't be like some type of boot disc to do a self-check. Because I'm sitting here thinking, how would you like troubleshoot an address line problem, or a GPU problem,
Well, that's
or bad RAM even? How would you find if there was an issue with the RAM on it? And I can't think of any way to do that other than play a game and see if it conks out. And then guess. Oh, that's gonna go bad.
That was a touch too powerful. Player one, let's finish this whole level part.
That wasn't so bad. Yeah, that went pretty clean.
It's landed in the rough. Oh dear me, that could be tricky from there. Looks as if it's going to be one of those days. Better luck next time. Well, in golf, anything can happen.
That is a steep hill, my god.
Oh, that's safely on the green.
And that'll do.
It's just missed the hole.
I love how they animated this man's despair.
And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole with a bogey.
The guy almost just like slumped to the ground and cried and pounded his fists on the green and rolled around and curled up in the fetal position. There we go. Zoom. What the hell bounce off was that? Jesus Christ.
Bad luck that was.
And bunk.
That's safely on the green.
Very nice.
Good attempt, but it didn't disappear.
And
Player one has finished this whole level par.
so now I'm curious. What is responsible for sending video out? Is it the software's job? to send, like, to send Chroma, or is it the PlayStation's job? And I'm inclined to think it must be software then. So that must mean there should be some type of software solution to it. Maybe I'm just rambling like a crazy person. There's got to be some trick to this that I don't quite understand. Let's see if I can just overshoot. Ooh, that went pretty well.
No, that's landed in a bunker.
I almost got it over the bunker.
Oh, that's safely on the green.
Because just thinking about it out loud, if I have something like a Commodore 64, and I play a PAL-based game off of it, the colors are fine. It's just the game may not execute properly because it's expecting a different clock speed. Because the European Commodore 64 runs at 985 kilohertz, not 1.0 something megahertz. And so if there's a lot of like time-sensitive stuff, it doesn't work. But yes, it does play, and it isn't in monochrome when you load the game, so why is it different for the PlayStation? Unless it's maybe the game's responsibility to handle its video instead of the PlayStation?
What a superb shot. Player one has finished this hole with a birdie.
Because if it's the game's responsibility to handle that, then you might be able to patch it. But if it's the PlayStation's responsibility, then why would a PAL game not work if it's just telling the PlayStation what to draw? Oh, that's gonna go off onto
Oh,
the
what a
side.
shame. No accuracy there. Well, we're used to seeing a lot better. Wonder what went wrong.
That was a hell of a curve.
Well, that shot's just short of the green.
It's just short general.
Oh, that's safely on the green. And it's in at last. Player one
Very nice.
finished this hole with a bogey.
Alright.
Well,
That was not a very impressive flyby. Can I curve it? Ah, here we go.
What an excellent drive. Now the next shot is bread and butter to this player.
Oh, God.
Oh, and that shot's been hooked away, hooked away.
Where are we going?
If anyone said this hole was easy, well, they're sorely mistaken.
And...
Oh, that's safely on the green.
hey, pretty good. Pretty good.
Everything was right here. The result speaks for itself. Player one has finished this hole with a birdie.
All right. I'm just gonna give it a walloping.
Oh, no, no, no. Badly sliced. I can't believe that shot. That was awful.
I can't believe just how absolutely terrible this man is. That's even worse.
Now, how on earth did that happen?
The swing back always gets me.
That's nicely on the fairway. Oh, that's safely on the green.
Ooh. Whoop.
That's overshot the hole.
Why would that be?
Well, close, but not close enough.
Unbelievable.
And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole 3 over par.
Alright. Where is the hole from here? Oh, it's straight ahead. Whoa, that was fast.
Badly sliced. Of all the places for the ball to land, I bet they wish it hadn't landed there. Well, that's a serious misjudgment. Well, no words of mine can sum up that shot. Well, that shot's just short of the green.
Ooh, there we go.
No, that's safely on the green.
There. Boop.
Close, very close. Not the final.
That was... I feel cheated. That was ridiculous.
And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole 2 over par.
All right. Is that it? Stop. Where are you going? Where are you going? Stop it. Stop it.
Landed in the rough.
Oh.
An unlucky attempt.
Boop.
Yes, good shot. Player one has finished this hole level par.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Really? We're all the way on hole 15 already. Boy, time flies when you're bored. There. Play. You'd be able to thread the needle that way, huh?
What a good drive.
Oh, I certainly did thread that needle, yes, sir.
Oh, what a position. Couldn't have asked for a better drive. Oh, that was a beauty. Yes, that's perfectly placed. fantastic finish. The crowds are really loving it. Player one has finished this hole 1 under par.
Hey, I got a birdie for my trouble. All right. Whopow!
We don't see drives often of that caliber. Brilliant, brilliant, sheer class.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
Well, that shot's just short of the green.
I have no idea how that worked.
Oh, that's safely on the green.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da.
It looked as if it was going in. Well, that was pretty obvious from the moment the ball was hit. It was not going in.
No. That didn't take? Son of a bitch.
And it's in at last. Player
I
one
can't believe that shit.
finishes home with a double bogey.
Alright, hole 17. And then maybe we'll get out of... we'll maybe get out of the 50s and into the modern era. Alright. Pull her back and let her fly, chun.
Oh, that's safely on the green. And it's in. Player one
Hey, I got a birdie for that, didn't I?
1 under par.
Alright. Now let's give this a hell of a curve, and we'll see if we can feed it right in between these two bunkers. Oh, God.
It's landed in the rough. That's not at all what we expected.
Hmm. Oh god.
Well, that was an awful shot. A shot that should have been fairly straightforward. Well, well, well. What an interesting shot.
Well, 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 if it isn't the incompetent asshole who managed to get in because the actual golfer we invited to this tournament got violently ill.
It's landed in the rough. Oh, that's safely on the green.
One guy just screamed in rage in the back. You could just hear it just cut. It just cuts through all the other disappointment, just like... Oh god, my own filter did not know what to do with that. With that horrific noise I just made.
And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole 1 over par.
Plus 13. Alright. Okay, sweet. So that was actual golf solve. Alright. They're all European. Which means that they're all going to be black and white. Is Australia 50 or 60 hertz? Let's look it up. I'm pretty sure Australia is NTSC. Does Australia use NTSC? NTSC often uses the convenient name for the current North American television system. PAL is used in Australia. Oh, okay. Okay, so Australia's 50 hertz. Shit. I was pretty sure that this converter I had was able to flip or handle both NTSC and PAL signals. Actually, no, scratch that. I know it can handle NTSC and PAL signaling, and the reason I know that is the Commodore 64 can flip between NTSC and PAL. Trying to play, let's see. I bet you there's some other factor that I'm not catching on to. I won't worry about it right now. That's maybe something for later in the week. I'm sure that would have been very, very epic, but I've got shit to do. Stroke play. Done. Done. There we go. Forest Downs Golf Course. Orange Rock Golf Course. Sunny Green Country Club. Can't tell it's green. You know what? Fuck it, let's do that one. Please wait while loading.
You join us here at the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island in the USA. And we're about to get underway with a stroke play competition.
Oh
The
god,
greens are in
we've...
really good condition today, and there's hardly any wind at all.
Oh god, he's back. He's back to play in the tournament. And why? Which one is this, and why is it black and white? This one is Actua Golf, and it's in black and white because this is a PAL game on an NTSC console, and apparently the chroma information isn't coming through when I do that. Which is weird, because all my other ones do, which makes me think it's at a console level, not a, not at, like, a capture level. No, that's a known behavior thing. So, that was a tremendous folly on my part. It didn't occur to me that would be a thing. And how's Sunfall doing today? You doing good?
That ball's come to rest nicely on the fairway. Took a chance. What a daring shot that was.
There we go. I just figured this was the Citizen Kane of golf or something. Yeah, played a bunch of Dragon Quest 4 today. Yeah, you were saying yesterday that you were gonna be getting on that.
think that shot was down to lack of concentration.
Well, you know, this does introduce a challenge to the game.
It's in the water. Now, come on, lads. This is golf, not water polo.
I love how this guy is kind of an asshole. It's very great. The first shot I made, what came out of his mouth is, this golfer is so bad that his play shows up in other people's nightmares. No, wait, his comment was, that shot was so bad it shows up in other golfers' nightmares. That was his...
Well, that's a remarkable shot from a horrid bunker.
Why did it tell me to hit it that hard, then?
Oh, that ball may have buried itself. You know, just one shot can decide a match.
He is a fun commentator, though.
Not bad. Could have been a lot better. Oh dear, another good opportunity missed.
No mercy from this man.
Well, I don't know what the thinking was behind that putt, or if there was any thinking at all. Oh, I don't believe it stopped right on the edge of the hole. Well, it looked as if it was going in.
Are you... This is insane.
At last, the balls disappeared. Player one has finished this hole 7 over par.
Now, they did record that They did record it for such an incident. Which means that I am still within the realm of, consideration. I'm not incomprehensibly bad, just very bad. Okay. Ooh, look at it go.
That's in the rough.
Oh.
Player one must be despairing after that very accurate shot. They must be wondering what on earth went wrong. How unfortunate to strike that tree. Ball's on the fairway.
But at least it's on the fairway. That's all I want.
And consistency in your technique if you want to succeed in something that needs to be learned. Well, unfortunately, it'll be a great struggle from there.
Oh, God.
Well, the ball's been stopped by that big tree. That's right next to the water. That really was a very foolish shot to play. I do believe I could see a blush beginning to appear. That's right next to the water. Well, lessons need to be learned from that shot.
All right.
Landed in the rough. Oh dear me, that ball's in the bush. Well, that looked a very poor...
Oh, that's so much better.
In rough like that, cut your losses, play out sideways, and try and get back on the fairway as soon as possible. Well, that's a rather poor attempt. Just didn't hit it cleanly enough.
I like how he's muttering to himself like, hey, maybe you should just get it back to the fairway.
Looks as if it's going to be one of those days. Better luck next time.
Alright.
Oh dear, what was the thinking behind that shot? Oh, it's hit a tree and landed in the rough. That ball's deep in the rough. Oh, sadly, that was a wishy-washy attempt.
I already completely screwed up this hole, so...
Well, the ball's been stopped by that big tree. Oh, it's
Okay, good.
rather
I'm past the
unlucky.
tree.
It seems to have missed the trouble. Oh, that's a pity. Looked as if it was going to be good, but looks can be deceiving. Now, I wonder how he'll handle this shot from the rough. If anyone said this hole was easy, well, they're sorely mistaken. Bad luck indeed, but at least the ball appears to be sitting up. Well, in golf, anything can happen. Well, that was a poor bunker shot. It's just too short.
Now, I gotta say, on Black and White, the first game was much easier. Seems like what they did in the second was they left the shades more or less the same, but then just changed the color. As opposed to the first one where, by consequence of doing this like fancy rounded and rastered and shiny effect on the gauge, you could tell where the gauge actually is. But like right now, I'm trying to figure out through some very subtle shades of gray where to putt.
It's not well shot.
I am also bad at golf.
What about that? Just didn't want to go in.
Oh.
Oh, that was so close. Well, I've been privileged to see some great play. Sadly, this wasn't one of those times. Player one has finished this hole well over par.
All right.
That's nicely on the fairway. The next shot is fairly easy.
Ooh. There we go.
All safe
No,
there.
no, no, no. Okay, there we go.
Perfect positioning. Close, very close, but not the final drop. They stopped just inches from the hole. Bad luck.
And there we
Well,
go.
That was an okay putt. Not too bright, but not disastrous. Player one has finished this.
That's
hole.
probably the nicest thing I'm going to hear from this guy. Not disastrous. Ah, yes.
Well, that seemed to be a total miss.
How's that a total miss? It looks fine.
That ball's deep in
Oh.
the rough. Player one must be cringing after that stroke. A little difficult from here, I fancy.
Nah, it's fine.
Well, I think that shot was down to lack of concentration. That ball's been stopped by that bush. That ball's lying in very heavy rough. Just feel like burying your head in the sand after a shot like that. Looks as if it's going to be one of those days. Better luck next time. Ball's landed in thick rough. Now, how on earth did that happen? Well, that's a bad shot. An awful shot. It's landed in the rough.
Now,
Let's see how this position is.
this is a challenge because each club has a different swing speed. I have to be super careful. Oh, yeah.
Just rushed it a bit there, I fancy. That's in the rough. Well, well, well. What an interesting shot.
So this is going to be a tough one.
Well, it looks as if the ball is on top of the rough. So this may not be all that difficult. Oh, what quality.
Hey!
That's an awkward position. Tough rough. That was a good shot. Good attempt, but it didn't disappear. Oh, it stopped just inches from the hole. Bad luck.
Yuck. And boop.
I think the Titanic must have been easier to sink than that one. Player one has finished this hole 5 over par.
What an absolute asshole of a commentator. I love it.
Now that's safely on the green. The game of golf calls for endurance against the odds and the elements. That's certainly what we've just seen. Well, close, but not
Yuck.
close enough.
And sink.
Player one has finished this hole level par.
I do like this ODE. It is doing a very good job on this console. Oh.
Player one, to slice that badly. That ball's landed right in the middle of some trees. The ball's landed in thick rough. You deserve to be spanked and put to bed without any supper for a shot like that.
What a guy.
That's what happens if a shot is hurried and not thought through. It's landed in the rough. Well, what can I say? When in doubt, say no.
Okay, I have to curve around this tree immensely.
Well, the ball doesn't look to be too deeply embedded in the rough. That's in the rough. Well, no words of mine can sum up that shot. Now, I wonder how he'll handle this shot from the rough. And that ball hit a tree whack. Oh no, the crowd obviously weren't impressed, and I must say I don't blame them. Oh, that's a pity. It looked as if it was going to be good, but looks can be deceiving.
Man, oh man.
Anything can happen.
This is a bit of a struggle.
You must stay as cool as a cucumber to pull off the next shot successfully. Oh no, the crowd obviously weren't impressed, and I must say I don't blame them. Oh no, that's landed in a trap. Well, what can I say? When in doubt, say no. Well, that was an excellent recovery. A classic example of how to play out of a difficult one.
There we go.
It's just missed the hole.
No. Okay. And
Ah dear, another good opportunity missed.
there we go.
I'd like to say it was all worthwhile. But it
Oh boy.
Player one has finished this hole 6 over par. Player one to slice that badly. Well, it looks as if a wetsuit is needed for the next shot here. Well, that's a serious misjudgment. That's right next to the water. Player one must be embarrassed by that last shot. Would you
I'm
believe?
getting strange audio crackles. I'm wondering if that's on my end. Anybody hearing strange audio crackles?
Well, that was a good attempt.
Okay, so that's good. So that's just on my end. I have to be really careful when I start playing with audio
Just short of
devices.
the green. Must continue to play like that to stay in with a chance.
If the bitrate doesn't match between between like a source and a sink, it'll run, but it'll eventually like start to crackle and then it'll come back.
Well, you couldn't ask for the ball to land in a better position.
Yay!
Oh, that was so close. Seemed like the ball just didn't want to go in. Player 1 finishes with a triple bogey, 3 over par.
Alright.
That ball's through the green.
I like how it just
Perfect position for the next shot.
it just barely pulls this off. Like it starts to stutter after a while. Actually, I saw that with the Blaster Master game too. Once a lot of stuff started piling up on screen, like a bunch of explosions, it just started to stutter a little bit.
That's a lovely position to play the next shot from.
At a time where they're like, you know what? They can tolerate the console chugging because too much cool shit's going down right now.
One has finished this hole level par.
Oh, that's bad.
Player 1 has really hooked that ball. If that ball had a body, it'd be up to his neck in the sand. That's bad enough to appear in other golfers' nightmares. Well, superb. What more can you say? If only all bunker shots could be played like that. You wouldn't mind landing in a would you?
God, just no mercy from this commentator is incredible.
The ball's ended up on the green. Yes, that's perfectly placed.
Despite everything, the ball is now on the green.
What about that? Just didn't want to go in. Well, that was okay. That did the trick. Player 1 has finished this hole with a bogey.
Only a bogey. Not bad, not bad. Alright, so what hole are we on now? Hole 10. Okay, 8 more of these. And then we have a third black and white game to play.
Player 1 has sliced that badly. That ball's in the water. That ball's deep. Well, no words words of mine can sum up that shot.
Alright.
Well, that was so unlucky. Well, that looks well and truly plugged to me. Well, 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 what an interesting shot.
Plugged.
That was an awful shot. A shot that should have been fairly straightforward. The ball's landed in the thick rough. The next shot could be problematic. What a superb shot.
That's not bad.
The green. Well done, well done. That cleared the rough. Simple but effective.
Oh.
Close, very close, but not the final drop.
There we go.
I don't
Shit.
believe it stopped right on the edge of the hole.
What an incompetent asshole we have on the course today. I'm amazed he's capable of walking without shoving his club into his arse. That is how he talks the whole time. Like, I have not been this lambasted in a game before, short of one of the hole results being disaster. And I mean, admittedly, I deserve it. In my defense, I'm struggling to see the gauge, but still.
Accuracy back to the driving range.
Yes.
Landed in the rough.
What's
Looks as if it's going to be one of
what's
those
some good
days.
stuff
Better
to
luck
talk
next
about
time.
today, I wonder? I just looked up idiot in the dictionary, and yes, player one's picture is right there.
Well, that's a rather poor attempt. Just didn't hit it clean.
We were going to tell him to leave the course, but we're leaving him here because it's quite funny. Let's see. Oh.
That ball's on the fairway. Well, that was a pretty good effort. It's never easy playing out of that sort of rough.
Okay, that should be
Well, that was a
alright-ish.
beauty.
There we go. Yeah.
Ball's come to rest on the green. What a great shot.
I'll do that so it curves into the hole a bit. Oh.
Well, it looked as if it was going in.
Now. So, after testing that ST, it looks to be going just fine. But I think I want to do one more
Player one.
modification to it before getting it ready for prime time. Because yes, the single transistor to combine those sync lines does work, but I was getting errors that were related to the glue chip acting up, or the glue chip signaling that there was a fault of some kind. And the problem is horizontal and vertical sync are done by the glue chip, so I don't know if it's just the software I was running was no good, or
Oh, no, that's a bad slice.
or if I was
Oh, no.
doing a number to the glue chip. So I think I want to retry doing it the proper way, quote unquote, and then see from there what to do. It shouldn't be too hard now that I have a decent diagram of what to do instead of some blurry thing a guy drew on, stolen from a forum that I can't make an account on. That's a pet peeve of mine. When you have a forum and you block the viewing of images until you have an account. Doubly so when you don't let the person make an account because their email address seems too suspicious. A Gmail account that like 90% of the world uses.
Oh, that's cruel. Could have ended up much better. It's in the water. Now, come on, lads. This is golf, not water polo. Oh, no, it's in the water. That was a very confident shot. Great technique. Well, it looked for a moment as
I've been
if that
seriously
was
debating picking up
undergrowth.
burritos or
That's some shot
tacos,
getting out of there.
and I've had this desire for days. And the thing is, I'm scared to buy them because the place nearby that actually does burritos and tacos. I walked in there one day. Okay, so here's what happened. They went under new management, and I walked in there one day after they got put under new management,
Shouldn't hold bad luck.
and I'm like, what is that smell? It smells like trash.
It's a wonder the
Did
sun
they forget to
hasn't
take
gone
the
down.
trash out? And I'm like, no, wait, that's not trash. That's meat. And I turned heel and I left. And I've been scared to go back since. And that was like a year ago. And I've been scared to order, like, walk in or order anything there since. And I know I'm probably overreacting. And I probably could just waltz in there and be like, does it smell like rotten meat? And probably be fine. Because it's probably not anymore. But I'm a weenie. So I have to just sit here and suffer, because I'm sure as shit not getting Taco Bell. Because I have to book a day off if I eat Taco Bell.
Now the next
Is there seriously only one place that does burritos or tacos near you? There's like 15 of them in a 10-mile radius of me, and I live in the middle of nowhere. Right? Like, here's the thing, right? Where I live is, it's mostly South Asian food, like primarily Indian food, which isn't a problem, except when you have spicy things and it makes your organs go cuckoo banana pants. You can't exactly have it all the time, or actually much of ever. And so I have a lot of choices for Indian food, like samosas and all that, and butter chicken and all that delicious stuff, but I can't have any.
That's right next to the water. Well, that's a serious misjudgment.
And that makes me sad. But, oh well. I wish there was good Indian near me. Nope, but like infinite Mexican and Tex-Mex.
That's right next to the water. Let's see how this position is handled.
In Canada, the sign that you're a civilization now, instead of like an encampment or a hamlet or like a
That's right next to the water. Well, what can I say?
or some type of like primo anarchistic commune, is if you have a Tim Hortons. And yes, I do have a Tim Hortons near me.
If only all shots from the rough could be as good as that. Well, that took so many shots to get the ball into the hole. I think I've aged a couple of years waiting. Player one, let's finish this hole.
Isn't Tim's terrible now? Tim's is very terrible, and I'm very sad. Even their coffee's terrible now. They lost, what it was is they lost the contract for their beans. Sorry, when the company that owns Burger King bought Tim Hortons, they didn't renew the contract for the coffee beans, and so then they just went with some random supplier, and it's awful. So I can have coffee from a husk of a former glorious company and staple of Canadian food, but alas. They don't even have my favorite sandwich anymore. Thank you. Oh god. Yeah, it's... I can't wait to finish these off and switch to another game, because it is really tough to see the gauge. And it is not generous with the gauge at all.
That's a great effort. A lot of power behind that one.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ball's on the fairway.
Oh, thank God.
Very bold attempt.
Yes, bold, implying deliberate.
That shot was a sign of a great goal.
So I think I found an issue with the contrast as well. So when I was troubleshooting why the Atari ST was so dim the first time we did the first time we tested if it was okay, I went into the video settings, and there's an option for what color range to show.
Another good opportunity missed.
And to troubleshoot, I set it to the full color range. But by default, it doesn't show the whole color range that's fed in.
It's in.
And one of them is when it's fed black and it comes out gray. It just filters that out and just shows straight black. So hopefully contrast is a bit better now. For everything. Like for all devices I hook up. Hard to tell because waves its screen.
That was a great effort.
There are people in the 90s who still had a black and white TV. I mean, I'm a little surprised that
Okay, on the fairway.
there wasn't design
That shot
considerations,
is quite simple, I fancy.
like game-wise anyway.
Oh, no, that's a bad slice. That's what happens if a shot is hurried and not thought through. Let's see how this position is handled. Well.
I'm not. No way game designers would care about what tiny subset of players. This is why I'm not a programmer.
Now, how on earth did that happen?
Why is this being so difficult right now?
Well, no words of mine can sum up that shot.
Yeah, it's having me use an iron. Yeah, it's having me use a... Yeah.
Well, in golf, anything can happen.
This is getting ugly.
When in doubt, say no.
Okay, so I know there's a third one in this series, but I think I might take a break from from these and find a color, a one in color, so it's a bit easier for me to play. This is getting painful.
Well, that shot's just short of the green. They'll be pleased with that. A good day's work. Well, that was a very average shot. Well, close, but not close enough. What about that? Just didn't want to go in.
Okay.
Fine heels all the same. The whole hospital could have been cured by the time they took and finished that hole. Player 1 has finished this hole 8 over par.
Not bad for all the struggling I did. Alright, 2 more, and then we can switch to something else.
Oh, what a shame. No accuracy there. But it looks as if the ball's just rolled into the sand. It could be possible to flick that one off the top. Well, that's a bad shot. An awful shot.
There we go. Stop. Oh no.
Plenty of sand with that, and the result was good.
Ooh.
Well, that was pretty mediocre. Just and it's down. Player 1.
Shit dumb luck. There we go.
This hole with a bogey.
Not bad. Alright, now we'll get to something in color and break the curse of multimedia while impoverished.
Now that was a confident swing. That ball's on the fairway. Well, they're in a wonderful position for the next shot. That shot was so sweetly struck. Yes, yes, good shot.
Ooh, now that's good. That's not.
Oh, so close. Player 1 has finished this hole level par.
Okay. And that is Actua Golf 1, 2. We are not doing the third today. That's Japan. Japan is NTSC. So why did everybody's golf work? Oh no, it was Hot Shots we played. That's what it was. Big Challenge Golf. I might as well get this one done. Because, yeah, Japanese is NTSC. So this should be fine. Oh, everybody's is just the Japanese European name for hot shots. Right, you keep telling me that and I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. This is... It's a game. Until the very last one on PS4, which was released in the States as everybody's golf for the first time. I see. It definitely looks higher contrast than it did yesterday. Black actually looks black, mostly. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, start. Yeah, that was me adjusting the colors to display. 'Cause, yeah, I had it at full. I've now put it back to factory default. Stroke play. Player 1. End. Bridgestone. That one. Okay. Club change. I'm fine with what we got. What brand of ball? Newing. Ray Grande? JM2? Sure, JM2. I don't know what JM2 is. What type of gloves? Oh. Oh, how opulent. We get to choose our gloves. Loafers? Green loafers. Purple. Purple shirt. 18 holes. Green bent. Hurai. Bent. Player 1, regular. I don't know what bent means. Look at that bird. Look at him go. This is gonna be a thing, isn't it? Why won't it take that? Left bumper. Right bumper. Oh, what's going on? You have to physically push down to put it into the dirt. Oh, man. Realism. Auto. Okay, it runs better than it showed on the intro. No, you can just whiff it. So you can go through all these steps, and if you do them wrong, you whiff. No, no. Okay, shot 4, 92 yards. This is going to be a game. Yes. A particular game. Oh no. Oh my. Oh no. So if you use auto, it's immediately terrible. Rip. And if you get them wrong, I knew this was gonna happen someday. I knew it. Like, I really, really knew it. It was gonna happen. It was only a matter of time before I encountered a game that was so awful. So obtuse. That it would bring me immense suffering and pain. And that is today. That is happening today. I'm not actually convinced it's awful. Obtuse, yes. Maybe I'm being a little mean. It counted my whiffs as shots. Up in. This is so technically advanced. 19 more to go. 17, yes. 17 more to go. I was like, wait a minute. Where did the extra 2 come from? Those are my punishment. The game goes into the negative dimension. Golfing in the shadow dimensions. Right, T. There. Direction. Okay. Got. You go get yourself some food. That is extremely important. He hungers. Consume. We must consume. There we go. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. This goes back to the fundamentals on what makes a game a good game. And it's being entertaining, being fun or being interesting. Is this interesting? Maybe. Alright, direction T. T. Oh, it's starting to stutter now. It can't process the sheer amount of golf. The amount of golf is overwhelming. I got told it was a nice shot, even though the computer did it for me, because I'm not going through that for every shot. Because, like, I'm not in the mood for that right now. My brain already hurts. Which is very interesting of me to say, because there are no sensory neurons in the brain, but boy howdy, it feels like it. Alright, now watch it go over the green. No, that went pretty well, actually. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. I'm dead. I have died. I'm in pure overwhelming pain. Words cannot describe the suffering, the despair. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but I'm not in the mood to hear the commentary right now with this game. Oh my god. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm poking fun at everything all the time. There we go. There we go. Look at that. We got racers now. Now that the weather's getting better around here, they're all the hot rodders are busting out their cars and driving up and down the street. Not too terribly upset about it. It's just they do end up doing it late at night too. So once or twice I've considered caltropping the road. Not that I would, because that is illegal and wrong. And somebody, mainly the driver, could get hurt. So about this game... No! Dad. Sadness. Boop. Did it. Did it. These wireless PlayStation 2 controllers are doing wonders right now. My only grievance is they put this big fancy like case on the receiver. It doesn't need to be there. They just did it to make it like stylized, but it gets in the way of the memory card slot. So if you have a particularly chunky memory card, you're hooped. Actually, you're not hooped. It's just you're lodging it in crooked. And I think that's gonna just put undue stress on the what's the daughter board called? I'm sure somebody who's worked on PlayStations will tell me sometime in the future. But there's this like daughter board where the memory card slot and the controller slot goes. And I'm worried that if I just try and cram both into like the player one slot, it's gonna like start breaking the daughter board. But oh well. That's why I have my fancy SD card, memory card combo thingy in the in player 2. Auto. I think this game is gonna be me choosing auto the whole time because I'm not too terribly patient to go through the procedure for every swing for the next 16 holes. I'm sure somebody is. I'm sure somebody would absolutely love this. Because it goes down to the this is an honest to goodness golf simulator. I'd say this is more of one than the one I speedran for the Amiga. Because it goes into everything. It goes into how you grip it, how your feet are. Or maybe it's just represented in a different way on the Amiga that's not as obvious. I do like the zoom in. That's nice. That is a nice touch. Bent green, Korai green. Oh, so these holes have 2 greens. So that's why it was asking me bent or Korai. E. Got. So one of the things about choosing auto is it'll sometimes just completely fuck you over and give you really bad options, like really bad parameters, I guess. If I have an original PlayStation, I know a game I want to play now. I want to play Tiny Tank. I love Tiny Tank. Ooh, there we go. Shot 6. Six shots on a par 5? Not too terrible, I must say. Heck.
バンカーが9つ。
No, I want to go back and I want to change my direction. This is very dangerous to do if I have auto, because it's going to choose some boneheaded settings. So it curved it back into the fairway. And I'm looking right at the hole, and I'm going up a hill, so this isn't going to go so good. 30 yards. And putt. Hole 8.
コース内で
Ba-ba. La 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 la. La la la. Da 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 da. And ooh, that was lucky. Boop. Green on. Alright, so let's see what the grid shows. A straight line. There we go.
Nice in.
Alright, halfway through. You know, I may sometimes gripe about being near a road, but one of the other things I like is that there's a bunch of places across the street that that do grilling, and you can always smell things like veggies and meats being grilled. It's very nice all the time. And spices. It's nice. It brings me joy. And we'll just give it a walloping. And boop. All right. Let's have a look at the grid. Consult the grid. I consulted the grid and I just think I should shoot in a straight line. Well, I have overshot it now. I thought I had this down pat, but I don't. All right, we are halfway through. Halfway through. Hole 10. This should get me closer. And boop. Aw, I didn't get out of the rough. Alright, we'll just hit auto to get onto the green. So honestly, I think the highlight of this game is what makes it fun is that you can control every minutia of the golfer. And then that's how you get the results you want when you do your hit. Or you do your shot. Which I just don't have the patience for at the moment. I think what kind of separates this from that Amiga one is this buries everything in menus and submenus as opposed to oh god, I'm even forgetting the name. That Amiga one that operates like a municipal power plant. I think the difference is since this is all buried in menus and submenus, but the other one was done step by step. So in order to make your shot, you first pointed at where you wanted to go, and then you had to go through step by step in like 3 screens, adjusting the parameters you want, and then you did your swing. So you ended up being able to control everything you wanted in only like 3 screens, as opposed to like 5 parameter changes in like 3 submenus. God damn it. Rude ass zoom shot there. Also, I have been dehungied. I am. The eyes just start choking. Okay. Like how it just like zooms in on you. I do like that. I do like when it zooms in to show the hole as the ball approaches, but the one I don't like is it zooms in. There's one where if you overshoot, it'll zoom in, the ball will whiz by, and it won't zoom out. So you'll see the ball just leave screen, and it just still shows the hole. That one I don't like. Because it's just like driving it home, like, this is where you had to go, asshole. This is where you had to go. It's almost like a director's decision for like a comedy shot. Bask in your failure, son. I don't know why I've kind of just gravitated towards using son instead of like dude or my guy or like bitch. I don't know why I went with son, but I don't know. I just seem to roll with it. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why it wants a wood in the rough, but that's what it showed for auto. God. So I don't know if you caught my unwarranted analyses and opinion on why I have such a different reaction to this overly detailed, obtuse game versus the Amiga one. But I think I figured out what it is that bothers me. It's how to me, it's how the parameters are presented. I did the menuing parameters, right? Yep. It's like there isn't a menu in the first one. Like in the former, like on the Amiga, it's 3 screens with all the data you need. It's interesting when I was cracking jokes about it being like a municipal power plant, but I actually, now with where I work, I do have to do things that involve municipal power plants, and it's quite funny hearing how people talk about how the people who run the operators consoles are. Like hearing what they think of operators and how they design systems around them. And one of my questions was, like when you think of like Hollywood or something, they give like this overly detailed picture on the control panel of all of the faculties and all of the components that are being actively monitored. And I was like, well, I mean, it makes sense in a way because you would have to see what parts of the plant are giving what readouts. And no, apparently they don't do that. Or what I should say is they stopped doing that. And so I got to see a modern implementation and how just completely sparse the readout is. And I looked at what they had originally from the 90s, and they are so notably different. I'm like, why did you not provide graphics for the components of the factory? And they're like, oh, it's too distracting. They get distracted by it. They get distracted by having a visual representation of the equipment that they're monitoring. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, one of the common issues with like factory incidents back in the day was there was so much stuff on screen the operator just could not find or didn't notice the thing that was acting up, or like the thing that a particular part of the facility being like out of acceptable parameters. They just didn't notice it because there's so much on screen. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, so now you're like, so now you represent it as the engineers, like the instrumentation diagram, right? And they're like, no, that's still too complicated for them. They still get distracted. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, that's still too much for them. It's overwhelming. They get distracted by the diagram. Like, well then, what do you show them then? And like, oh yeah, here's the new standard. We don't even describe the facility to them. We just tell them, look at these numbers, and when these numbers bad, if these numbers go to these values, it's bad. I was a little surprised at that. Just kind of reminds me of I might be dating myself, but there was the Festivus episode of Seinfeld. And there's the Festivus pole, and they're like, aren't you going to put tinsel on it or something? Like, no, that's too distracting. Obligatory Jurassic Park mashup. This is a municipal power system. I know this. Well, fortunately, I have to be careful what I said. I almost said something that would have got me in trouble. Yeah, I have to hold off. I have managed to derail a conversation, but yes. But I am excited where I am now because with all of these incidents and attacks on like public infrastructure, or cyber attacks on public infrastructure, one of the big pushes is to beef up cybersecurity. And it's a very interesting dynamic. Because there's things there like, well, what's a good example? They're talking, somebody would be doing an audit and they'd say, well, how are you tracking your IP addresses? And fill out this diagram or fill out this form to describe how you're tracking your IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. And they go, we don't use v6. And they all do a double back and they're like, well, what? They're like, yeah, we don't use v6. Well, but Windows needs v6 for the things you're doing. They're like, oh yeah, we know. But that breaks parts of Windows with how you're using it when you don't have v6. And like, oh yeah, we know, we don't use those parts. So we don't care if we break them. Now we have like an entirely, like, we've completely removed one protocol stack from being an attack vector. We just don't use it. We don't need it. We don't want it. They don't even use gigabit. They just use 10100. They don't need it. There's nothing that's gained from using gigabit on a factory floor. They don't transmit enough to warrant it. And it's not bandwidth that's needed, it's latency that's needed, and gigabit won't help with latency. It'll help with total throughput, but there's not enough throughput. So why deal with gigabit? Alright. And... but... that. I love that. I both love and hate that. It doesn't zoom out to show you the rest of it, it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's like an accidental comedy shot. Alright, hole 13. Alright. I think I need to go this way a little. There. And wha-pow. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but ages ago, I built a Gen 2-based SSH intermediary server at a job, and actually compiled the kernel with no 32-bit executable support, right when 64-bit AMD 64 processors were just being put into servers. So if someone dropped a precompiled rootkit on it, chances were great that it wouldn't even run. You had mentioned that, and that is a really good example of attack surface reduction. It's like, it's not relevant to what you're doing. It's not relevant to its execution. Yeah, it makes your life a little bit harder at times, but fuck it. You set it and forget it.
Nice on.
I had to reluctantly... Yes. I begrudgingly learned about containers the other day. Oh, thank you. I typed it as she said it. I got those quips like maybe twice in this game. It's nice that they have them. Alright, so that's looking fine. Oh, shit. What was that about? Oh, yes. I begrudgingly had to teach myself about containers because so I recently moved ISPs and I couldn't negotiate a DHCP reservation or a static IP address. So I had to set myself up with dynamic DNS. But in order to do dynamic DNS, you need to routinely check into whatever service you're using so that they know. And I'm not spinning up a whole VM just to check in every, like, 5 minutes. That's such a waste of compute. And, like, I will die happy not learning about containers and not learning about Kubernetes. I have no desire for either of those two things. I kind of like containers now, admittedly.
ナイスイン
That's what cron tab's for. Yes. So what the container does is it's got a cron tab that starts a script every 5 minutes, and the script is that it does
アップヒル
it's a curl one-liner to check in. And I kind of show my age because I'm like, God, Linux, like, Linux with no graphics on it, having only like a handful of utilities, needed 128 meg, and I went, that's too much memory. I'm old. Where's my pension check? And my Salisbury steak. All right. Now, I know the challenge usually goes for about 4 hours, but I think once we finish up this one, I think I might wrap it up then. Primarily because 2 reasons. I want to revisit that sync circuit before I forget. So I've got a feeling I'm going to forget, and if the way I have the circuit rigged up is damaging the glue chip, I don't want to, you know, keep running it and forget that I know this. And the other one is I've got a... I did a good job keeping a headache at bay, but it's coming back, so I better disengage it sooner rather than later, you know? Or disengage sooner rather than later. Yeah, that's exactly it. Golf is supposed to be my relax time, not my, it's not something to push, right? I'm not supposed to be pushing myself to do golf. It's just a nice way to have a chat, or just cool your heels, you know? Alright, hole 15.
E の配置
Alright. I came to a sobering realization the other day that just because things have a particular value and are useful to me doesn't mean that people in my surrounding environment feel it's that way. And saying it out loud, it makes sense, but in practice, I don't realize it until it's too late. So basically what I'm saying is I have a 6-blade compute cluster sitting on my coffee table, and it's been there for about 6 months because nobody wants to buy it. And nobody wants to have it for free because nobody wants to put it in their car or their truck. And I don't have a truck. But on the upside, I managed to replace a 6-blade compute cluster with an $800 server, and it runs better and has more RAM and runs cooler and quieter. And I feel like a smirt boy. I've probably ranted about it before as well, but I'm gonna rant about it again because it sometimes just shows up, just drops in my psyche like a one-man band in the middle of the night. But I need me a single system image clustering operating system because I have so much computing equipment, and it just really, really sucks that I can't use it effectively. And it always comes back to how you cluster computers together. And we used to have single system image solutions. So like you could introduce a bunch of computers into a cluster, and when you go to the head node, like the thing that you interact with to control the cluster, it's presented as a single computer, which makes programming a lot easier too. Because you don't need to write your code with like passing, or come on, why is this so difficult to say? You don't have to like you don't have to write your program to pass data back and forth between all the different computers in the cluster. You just write it as if you would for any other computer, and then you move it over, and then it would work. And I guess I'm sure there's many reasons why this isn't a thing anymore, but I'm gonna stop talking. I'm probably making myself look like more of an incompetent boob than I already am, but I mean, the only one I could find was Plan 9. And I mean, I like Plan 9. But it's Plan 9. And it's very hard not to go batshit insane working in Plan. As someone who was an HPC administrator, yeah, the short answer is it's super inefficient to pretend that the machines are the same.
豪快なショットフィーリングが満喫
Okay. So it is actually easier to write your program to be cluster aware and do that heavy lifting on its own rather than make the operating system do it. Not easier, just way less efficient. And the whole reason you're using HPC is that you need the additional compute. So... yeah, okay, and... in terms of compute efficiency, I'm probably putting you on the spot asking for numbers, but just thinking about it out loud, it must be a very measurable thing. Like, not insignificant amount of efficiency loss by doing it that way, if it's not a thing anymore. I imagine if you have a $2 million HPC... yeah. As processes and memory got faster, we're taking literally tens of thousands of times slower to, say, migrate a thread to another machine. Literally tens of thousands of times slower to, say, migrate a thread to another machine. Okay, so that is not insignificant. Okay, so I am the problem. I am the problem in this equation. I understand now. And so it is more efficient than, I said easier, but I mean, it is more efficient to put the onus on the programmer to make a program for an HPC that is aware of the cluster and can do message passing instead. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Well, you know, in all of the hours of searching, I could not find a more concise answer, and I appreciate that very much that you told me that. Because all I heard was, it's not a thing anymore. Or all I could understand from it is, that's not a thing anymore. Obviously, there are libraries that abstract a lot of it out, but it's never going to be totally seamless. It can't be, really. And whapow. Hey, that got on the green just fine. Every program cares about locality in some way or another, whether it's a video game and cache line hits or speed or sending text to the video card or blah blah blah. Oh, I see. Alright, let's look at the grid. Consult the grid. And I'm putting uphill. So I'm gonna need to do this. And boop. I missed that. I mean, sure, Lotus 123 for DOS could probably run seamlessly on a cluster transparently, but that's roughly how far back you'd have to go. So you'd have to completely separate a program from hardware in order to have it truly seamless. That's what I'm just thinking right now. It would have to not... You'd almost have to have... Oh, I was about to say something stupid. Oh, fuck it. I already say stupid shit. I was about to say, I mean, you could have an API, but then all programs use APIs to communicate with things external to it. But you'd have to completely abstract the program from the computer. Is what I'm trying to get at. And I imagine that's a tall order. If not impossible. There was a fella... Well, not a fella. There was a team... Again, it's not the lack of existence of an API. It's just how mind-bogglingly slow it is to go to another computer versus staying local. Even with the crazy custom fast interconnects that modern supercomputing clusters have, abstraction will not save you. It cannot. Right, because that's what we're going back to now, and that's something I have to shake. It's not that it can't be done, it's that it's intolerably wasteful to do. And that's what I have to shake. It is intolerably wasteful. Yeah, for a minute Yes, fast enough for an 8088 is a very, very, very low bar. I whiffed on... Sorry, I completely missed the point you had been trying to make earlier, and that was on me. When you mentioned Lotus 123 being able to run transparently, my mind immediately clicked back to how is it possible, not what are the consequences of it, and that's why I fell back into the API question. Or... That's why I commented about APIs, is my mind clicked back into how do you accomplish it, not what are the consequences of it. Alright. Getting on the home stretch. Alright. And auto. Wapow. That was horrifying for a minute. I don't know how I got through that one. So I just bounced off a hill right in front of the green. Shit, dumb luck. Well, I guess that's something else I should learn then. Is that something I want to learn, or is that a really dark rabbit hole? Or is it not? Or is that a really deep rabbit hole that I don't want to touch? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So if single system image is intolerably wasteful and message passing is the way we go because of that, then would that be something I need? I'd skip it pretty hard unless you really have a reason to do it. It's complex and not much fun. When I was going through my C# courses, the first thing they said is, yeah, this is how multi-threading works, and don't worry about it. Because even like multi-threading is very important to do for efficiency's sake, but just the act of trying to keep your threads in check and make sure you don't like grab a resource that another needs when it needs it is a very difficult thing to do. Alright, last hole. Oh, and that's nice. They put the clubhouse out in the distance. Alright. The home stretch. Also, I kind of want to research what... Oh. So that's what auto shot got me. Shot 4. If you want a flavor of that, messing around with protocol buffers or whatever implementation of them you prefer, and message passing outside of the demands of HPC is actually practical and useful. I'll have to look at that again, because, like, I shouldn't say I haven't programmed in a very long time, but I do it in small bits and scripting here and there, but I don't actually... I haven't written in earnest in a long time. But I mean, it's a good skill to have. I mean, and what else am I doing with my days? Aside from, I don't know, eating saltine crackers and inspecting all the pores in the drywall. And boop. Now I overshot. Okay. Actually, I don't need to do that at all. Just a little boop. Little boop it. Alright. Let me see. What's the final score? Par 36. I have 53. Gross 110. Handicap 30. Net 80. Oh, that's decent. Captain Proto, that's the one I remember reading about. Anyway, even those are a deep rabbit hole. I suggest keep playing video games instead. Yeah, maybe I should maybe I should just leave it well alone. I mean, okay. admittedly, my programming skills have already served me well as they are thus far. I mean, the effect you're seeing on screen, that's something I wrote. It does the job. And Bidgey games are fun. And I might write scripts here and there for my job. I don't think that's a rabbit hole I want to fall down. Anyway, we are wrapped up, I think, here. I'm just gonna make a note. So we got Actua Golf 1 and 2, and this was... what was it? Hey, no problem, and thanks for swinging by. It's always an interesting chat when you're around. No, I didn't mean to start. Let's back out. And I might actually have to pull up the ISO again. Alright, is it gonna actually drop to the menu? Like to the ODE, or is it gonna go to the game? Big Challenge Golf. Tokyo. Yeah, Big Challenge Golf. Whew. I can tell this is a... You can really tell when a piece of equipment is used when it starts heating up and it's giving off, like, weird-ass smells. Probably all the dust burning off from the power supply. Or the power supply's capacitors are leaking. One of them. I never bothered to recap it. I'm not gonna bother unless there's an actual reason to do so. Anywho, I think it's time to wrap it up here, and I'm gonna refrain from raiding out to anyone tonight. Actually, or unless Rat Clown Car is on, because I keep promising to raid him, and I just keep missing him. Yeah, he's not on right now. I keep missing him on the raid into, but that's fine. One of these days we will. We'll catch him and drop in and give him a pleasant surprise. But yeah, but I won't raid in otherwise though tonight, because I'm not gonna be loitering around online much after this. So we got a fair amount done today, and we got to catch a bit of a quirk with this PlayStation that I'm gonna have to deal with. So we managed to get Actua Golf 1 and 2 done. We did not finish 3. Or actually, we didn't start 3. And then we just wrapped up Big Challenge Golf. So we managed to get 3 out of the way today. Which, that's nothing to sneeze at for about 3 hours and change. That was us wrapping up early too. So I think it's time for me to go pop an Advil, do a little bit of investigating, and crash in a cot in the electrical closet. So as always, I'm not going to tell you what to do, so I'm not going to tell you to stay out of trouble. But all I ask is that if you do get in trouble, you make sure it's the good kind of trouble. And you all stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.